Hello, this is Stuart from World of NLP and NLPteleseminars.com. Welcome to this training session on triggers. Now, why triggers are so important, all of you should know, because human beings are triggered off by external stimuli. We are conditioned by our environment, and many things that happen in our environment are sometimes out of our control. Now, yes, we cannot control the initial environmental change, but we can manage ourselves in order to respond to that environmental change. I mean, stock market crashes, you can't do anything about it, but you can control your emotional response to that. Having said that, the core belief is this, that we are all reactionary creatures. Every single one of us reacts to different things. Now that you're listening to the sound of my voice, some of you will find it very appealing because maybe you find that the voice triggers off certain sensations of well-being, for instance. But some of you may not experience that kind of sensation. Whatever the case is, we are not in control all the time of the environmental cues that come to us. But what we can do is deliberately set up our environment so that it continuously triggers off things which are powerful for us. We need reminders, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes you tie a knot around your finger just to remind yourself. Then again, you forget what that knot is supposed to be, right? So what we need to do is have slightly more effective triggers. I was just having a discussion earlier on, and for some strange reason at the place where we are having our tea, massive amounts of million-dollar producing ideas just sparked off in my brain. How is that possible? Why does my brain do that? Well, very simply, it was the environment that I was in. As I reflected, it was the place where I had always had discussions and creative discussions with my colleagues, and every single time we came together at that point of discussion, we would always have really crazy ideas, and it was a relaxing environment that also helped to change our internal state and enable us to come up with really great ideas. So every time I sit at that coffee shop, I'm going to be sitting down there coming up with lots and lots of ideas. So that's a trigger. It's a visual and, shall I say, multi-sensory trigger that gets me into the right emotional state that controls the actions that I take. I believe that's beginning to make sense more and more. If you wanted to get yourself up and running, as in really fitness building and health creation, what you need to do is back at home, begin to create triggers that remind you of the importance and the value of your health. Go out there, get that trigger. It could be your sports shoes. It could be just the environment. It could be the sun shining out there. And let that trigger off the mental image of yourself going out there running and really feeling good about it at the end of the run. That's all about how triggers take place. There are many NLP techniques that enable you to use triggers. There's one called the swish pattern. It's a very, very powerful pattern where it conditions one response, one trigger, such as a visual or an auditory trigger. Once you see or hear that particular trigger, it actually links up with a mental image of what exactly it is that you want to accomplish. Now, that's a very, very powerful tool that could be in your hands. All you need to do is close your eyes, think of the thing that you want to trigger off that behavioral pattern inside your head. Think of that stimulus. Is it a visual stimulus? Is it something that you hear? It could be the birds chirping. It could be the sun out there. Think about that visual stimulus. Now, what you need to do is link that up. Keep linking that up to that behavior that you want to execute and see that happen inside your mind. Let that go full flow, full motion, so that every single step of the way is already ingrained in your neurology. And that's why it's called neuro-linguistic programming. The second thing, which is a very powerful strategy, is using anchoring. Now, as we all know, anchoring is about conditioned responses. Anthony Robbins calls it neuro-associative conditioning. Doesn't matter what term you use, it's all the same thing. What you need to do is, for instance, I'm right here sitting at my desk and I'm staring at a camera. In the past, I wasn't really comfortable talking to the camera on my own because it felt like I was just talking to plain air. Now, what I discovered was, as long as I visualize and imagine myself talking to somebody else in front of me, it made a world of difference. And you know what? As I continued to anchor that, meaning to say, I linked up the image of the camera and this entire setting in front of me, it got conditioned, it linked up with my imagining myself speaking to a real person in front of me. And it just made a world of difference, because once again, that shifts my emotional state of being and my presence, enabling me to therefore deliver a presentation as though I was speaking to a real live audience. And I know that those of you who are watching will want to learn more about NLP and learn more about how that affects you and turns you into the powerful leader that you deserve to be. How that enables you to create the changes in other people. For those of you who might be interested to pick up on neuro-linguistic programming, what I'd recommend for you to do is to go down to NLPteleseminars.com. We have regular webcasts starting this month in January 2008, and we are also going to have a series of additional live trainings. For those of you who are in Asia, especially in Singapore and Malaysia, we'll be running NLP certification programs that are authorized by the Society of NLP. At this present point of time, I'm the only recognized Society of NLP trainer licensed by Dr. Richard Bandler, the founder of NLP himself. That's good news, because you and I can get together, we can have a chat and discuss how exactly you can create that kind of shift and maximum amount of change in order for you to become the kind of person that you deserve to be. So what I'd like all of you to do is head down to NLPteleseminars.com, go to worldofnlp.com and begin your journey of learning. So I hope to see all of you at my NLPteleseminars.com presentations. Feel free to ask as many questions as you want as you desire to grow and achieve your peak potential. This is Stuart Tan signing off. Catch you later.